On today's movie news, Ryan Johnson shares the first look at Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc in Knives Out 3.
Netflix's Man on Fire series finds its Denzel Washington replacement.
Transformers 1 gets some really good reactions at a work in progress screening.
And a cult classic witch movie starring Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock is somehow getting a sequel 26 years later.
Hello everyone, we are here talking about movie stuff today. It's myself here, Gareth from Whatculture, joined by Andrew of Whatculture, and we got some stuff that we need to talk about because a big old photo dropped online last night, big old image on the old Twitter Xverse, whatever you want to call it, and it was all about Knives Out 3, which has been doing all the news rounds right now because you've got all these casting announcements that are dropping every other day, it feels like. This cast is ridiculous. They've all been ridiculous, haven't they? From the first Knives Out, from the Glass Onion one, they've just been ridiculous casts. And so far, the cast for this one, I'll reel it off before we get to the actual big reveal thing because I think we need to keep track, really, because there's so many names are popping up. So we've got Josh Brolin, Josh O'Connor, Haley Spaney, Andrew Scott, Kerry Washington, Glenn Close, Jeremy Renner, and Mila Kunis, and like there'll probably be other people in there as well, like cameos and surprises. There'll be loads of stuff. Ryan Johnson loves it when it comes to his murder mysteries and all that fun stuff. But that man, Ryan Johnson, was on X, and he posted an image which pretty much announced that they've now started shooting. Like we're fully like underway. He put, and we're off. Today is day one of shooting on the next Benoit Blanc mystery. Wake up, dead man. See you on the other side. So this caption was joined by an image of Daniel Craig looking so dapper, looking so suave. His hair's grown out a little bit more as Benoit Blanc. He's got his lovely three-piece suit on. He's just looking off to the side. He looks like a badass. I love this character. I love Daniel Craig in the character. For me, I enjoy Benoit Blanc, that Daniel Craig role, more than James Bond. I just think he's just having the time of his life. He's hamming it up. He's just, he's everything that I want in a super cool detective in this kind of film. So I'm well into it. It was like a black and white photo as well, just to make it a little bit more moody and atmospheric. We don't really know much about Wake Up Dead Man, like, because that tends to be how this sort of things work. Like with the murder mysteries, we don't really find out an awful lot until like the first trailer drops, and even then, we don't know what's happening. We don't know who done it. So I'm curious. I'm curious who's going to be the person who did done it out of that stacked cast list so far. But it's exciting. It's an exciting first image, Andrew.
Oh, totally. And I would kind of agree with you there that I do prefer Benoit Blanc to James Bond, which is gonna, I'm sure, get comments mad. Yeah, just very dapper, very suave, very smooth, very Gareth Morgan-esque, dare I say it.
Oh, there he is, yeah, with the hair as well.
Well, I'm not even going to touch that one, brother. But no, I love a good murder mystery, whether it's this franchise or just anything, man. It's always, especially the unpredictability. And like you said, it's that initial interest now is generated by the first image being dropped. Then whenever you get the teaser at first, it's like, okay. And then it's like, all these big name people, who is going to do it? Who is that? Or is it going to be multiple people behind whatever nefarious things happen? It's yeah, I always have a good old time with these things, man. It's just it's a nice one to look forward to. And speaking of things to look forward to, Man on Fire, yes, best known as a Denzel Washington movie from 2004. Netflix have ordered, I think it was August of last year, they put in the order for a TV series of this, and we now know who will be replacing Denzel, filling his shoes as John Creasy. It is Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, which is a very fine choice for me. Now, this character, John Creasy, special forces soldier, who's basically looking for a fresh start, but has got certain personal demons and PTSD to deal with at the same time. This Man on Fire is based on a 1980 novel from A.J. Quinnell. Tony Scott directed the 2004 movie, which won a whole lot of praise pretty much across the board. I mean, it's Denzel Washington. And Denzel Washington in 2004 was just knocking it out of the park with whatever he was doing.
He was also on fire. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was
right
there.
It
was right there. But this isn't the first or the second time that this has been adapted, because it was also adapted in 1987 as a movie which starred Scott Glenn in the lead role. Scott Glenn, who a lot of people might know these days as Stick in Daredevil. So that was an interesting one. But yeah, it's coming together nicely, Man on Fire, because Yahya Abdul-Mateen II has got an Emmy Award winner here, Watchmen TV series, Black Manta in the Aquaman movies, the Candyman reboot, Us, The Matrix Resurrections. Also steering the ship on this is Fear Street's Kyle Killen, who's writing, executive producing, and serving as showrunner on the Man on Fire TV series. And you've got Creed 2, I should say, Creed 2's Stephen Caple Jr. directing the first 2 episodes of what is currently planned to be an 8-episode debut season. So there's a lot of good talent here already, and it's. I think it's a really fun story, interesting story to play out in long form television over, as it stands, 8 episodes, and who knows, it could be future seasons as well. And in terms of if you're gonna have somebody leading the charge there, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is as fine a choice as I can think of.
Yeah, right now for the talent that's out there in the world to play this kind of role, I think he's perfect. I loved him. I did, like, just thinking of the films that you were reeling off. I remember watching him in that Candyman remake, reboot, like sequel thing, whatever it is, and I adored him. I thought he was fantastic in it. So I'm again super intrigued to see what he can do with this. And we've seen this a lot lately. We've seen films that were massive successes, like in cinemas and theaters, whatever it is, now being taken over into the long form TV format, and sometimes that works a treat, sometimes not so much. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But best of luck to him, best of luck to everyone involved in the series, because you want these things to work. Because I don't know, I want great TV to watch on my screen. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed that it's worth the wait and all the rest of it. But something that is looking like it's going to be very much a thing that people are going to get excited about when it does finally land in theaters is Transformers 1. So this is the animated. Well, it is like a prequel, I guess. It's like the origin stories of Optimus Prime and Megatron, all these people, like the Autobots, the Decepticons, and it's had a few trailers that I've seen, like when I've been going to the cinemas recently, and I've loved them. I've had a good time with them. It just the comedy seems like it's hitting, like the actual animation style is quite fun as well. I like it. I'm intrigued by it, and seemingly the people who watched in work in progress version of it at the Annecy International Animation Film Festival recently. I think that was it was on Monday, so that was yesterday. Days are blurring together right now. They seem to like it as well, really, because director Josh Cooley took to the stage just before this, and he said, I've got that feeling you get when you're given a present and you know they're going to be excited about it. And I think people were buzzing already. They were like, Transformers, robots in disguise, give it to me, hook it to my veins. And they did. They watched it and they went wild. They were like cheering for bits. They were, I think, from what it says here, without revealing plot details, this is all from the Deadline write-up on it. They said there were spontaneous bouts of applause as the film ramped up to an action-packed denouement, and the genesis of much-loved Transformer characters slotted into place. So I think as things were coming together and people were like, oh, so that's how that happened. Oh, that's how they became this person. As that stuff was happening, people were applauding, like cheering and saying this is a good time. So it said, yeah, it's billed as the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, who are now sworn enemies, obviously, in the later films that we've all seen so many times. But they were once friends who were bonded like brothers who changed the fate of their native home of Cybertron forever. So yeah, very epic. Audiences were also treated to 2 spoof animated outtakes as well, which I love those. I don't know why I did. It's so silly that people have gone out of their way to animate these mess ups, and like if you think about it too long, it hurts your head a little bit. But when you actually watch them, I love them. I think they're great. So like, I remember Toy Story 2, I believe, had some really good ones at the end, and yeah, it got standing ovations, and everyone was going nuts, and they're excited. And it's just one of those things where it feels like a lot of momentum is gathering behind this film right now. A lot of people are getting very giddy about it. Deadline actually heard that the testing for this movie over in the States was testing through the roof. People were really like loving it, having a good time with it. So it's set to release September 20th, 2024. And yeah, I am so here for it. The cast includes Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, Scarlett Johansson, and then you've also got Keegan-Michael Key, Steve Buscemi, Lawrence Fishburne, and John Hamm. So just look at that. That's like a Knives Out cast. That is an awesome cast. So I'm here for this. I'm excited, man.
It's going to be weird not to have Peter Cullen voicing Optimus, but it works because it's a prequel. But yeah, it's very much got my attention. This, just as a big Transformers nerd, man, I've still got all my old Transformers toys somewhere in a box in my mum's attic because I am old. Yeah, the animated movie the favorite like Blu-ray I own is the 30th anniversary steelbook of that. It's just, yeah, Bumblebee was amazing. Battle of the Beasts, that was fantastic. The Michael Bay movies, not so much. Didn't do too much for me, but yeah.
The first one I liked. The first one was all right.
I don't know, man. It kind of, I think because I was just used to very clearly defined characters in terms of their appearance. The first movie, especially, and maybe the first two, it's like, oh, this is just a load of CGI metal blending together while we look at explosions and Megan Fox's arse. Nice one, Michael.
It's all coming back to me now. There you go. That's
and speaking of making me feel old, there's a Practical Magic sequel in the works, which that is a film that came out in 1998, 26 years ago. Yesterday we were talking about Bryan Singer's first X-Men movie, and that was like 2000, and that made me feel old. And now we're going back 2 years before that. Yes, this comes from the Hollywood Reporter, who brought the news that Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman are returning for Practical Magic 2. Now, the first movie, it's a very strange decision, this, for me, because the first movie, I should probably point out that the movie itself focuses on two orphan sisters raised by eccentric aunts. They're all witches. In Massachusetts, Diane Wiest and Stockard Channing played the aunts, and the two sisters are cursed to never find love. Oh, of course, things work out all right in the end, because, hey, it's a fuzzy-ish film. But yeah, it's a strange one, because it made a loss at the box office when it came out. Critical reviews were pretty harsh on it. Audience kind of remarks on the film at the time weren't great, but it's kind of maybe got a little bit of a cult following in subsequent years, and I guess maybe it's a bit of a guilty pleasure for people. But yes, a Practical Magic sequel is on the way. Akiva Goldsman, who co-wrote the original film, is writing this sequel, although there are no plot details whatsoever right now. This also isn't the same, well, it's not the first time that something else has been tried with this IP, because back in 2019, I think it was, HBO announced Rules of Magic, a prequel TV series to Practical Magic, which never actually happened.
Great.
So yeah, it remains to be seen whether Practical Magic 2 has that same fate, but you'd like to think, though, with the star power of Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, that this film is going to be happening. If those two people are attached to it, then there's going to be an audience for it, especially 26 years removed. I mean, they were big stars back in 1998. They're bigger stars now, one would argue. So yeah, this film will happen. It will be okay, maybe. I don't know. I've not got much hope for this one, but then I didn't particularly like the first film, so I'm not exactly the target audience. But Practical Magic 2, yay, it's a thing.
Yeah, I've got absolutely zero investment in this one, because I've never seen it. I mean, like you said, the star power there just attached to it makes my ears prick up, and I go, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. Maybe I should go back and watch it now. But then the way you've described this whole scenario, I don't know. I'm a little bit like, is it worth it? Is it worth my time? We'll see. I mean, I've got plenty of hours in the week to watch films, and if it's got Sandra Bullock and it's got Nicole Kidman in it, it's going to be a relatively good time, surely, because these two are very talented ladies, and they're superstars. They are movie stars in the purest sense of the word, in my mind. So I think people could be invested in it. People could end up just being convinced to part with their hard-earned cash to watch this movie. So we'll see. Weirder things have happened over the last couple of years. Like, would you get this is like would you class this as like a legacy sequel or kind of thing, or is it just a straight sequel? Like,
that's it, because there's no plot details at the moment. It's just kind of being billed as sequel. But then,
yeah,
sequels and legacy sequels can work. Obviously, Scream has managed to relaunch itself into another trilogy before obviously things went completely tits up with Scream 6 right now. But that worked in a legacy way in terms of bringing back the original cast or the core cast, and then using them to dovetail into a story with new characters. So legacy sequels can work. The Craft legacy, not so much. But yeah, this could work as a legacy sequel. It just seems, of all the things to look and give a sequel to, obviously it is the star power there, but it's a very strange one when I saw this news. But then here's me just still waiting for a Frankenhooker sequel. I don't ask for much, or a Killer Clowns from Outer Space sequel. But no, Practical Magic 2.
Just try and will it into existence. If we keep talking about it, we'll just, everyone in the comments, just try and will those films into existence. Just for Andy. He deserves it. He deserves nice things. So just try and make those happen. But that is your movie news today. Let us know what you think of all these stories in the comments down below. Just yeah, let us know what you think of like the Knives Out thing. That's the thing that kind of my big takeaway from today. Just seeing Benoit Blanc looking all majestic with that hair just swishing around in the wind. I'm jealous. That's all it is, really. But let us know what you think of those in the comments down below. I've been Gareth. Follow myself on X at gmorgan04. Where can they follow you, Andrew?
On X, you can find me at Culture the Left Peg.
Lovely stuff. So thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully have a lovely day, and we see you very soon. Bye-bye.